Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on my 96 Accord. So I'm pretty pumped. Today is something I've been waiting for a long time, since I got the car. Even before that, I've always been into lowering stuff. I lowered my pickup truck, but you can only really do so much with a pickup, especially a four-wheel drive pickup, before you need major modifications. But as far as cars, you can pretty much just slam these things. So that's what we're doing today. If you hadn't figured it out already by the title, we're putting coilovers on the Honda. So I went ahead and bought some function and form Type 2 coilovers. The reason I went with the Type 2 is because it's only like a little bit more money, and it gives you the ability to adjust dampening in addition to ride height. So I'll show you guys what came in the box here. Obviously these are the coilovers, and the cool thing about these coilovers is you can individually adjust ride height and preload, but preload is set from the manufacturer. Function and form does that for you. So I'm not going to touch the preload, which is these two right here. All I'm going to do is mess with the bottom, which I think one of these was loose, but what you do is just spin the bottom, and this entire mechanism, the whole collar, will spin independently, and then you can tighten this on top of it to make sure that it stays tight. So that's pretty awesome. I think I might just want to completely slam this thing just to see what it looks like, and then bring it up to a functional ride height. Just cause I just want to see how low it can go, and then we know, because eventually I'll have a lip on it and I won't really be able to go that low. And I still want this thing to be drivable. I don't want to scrape or rub, and the purpose is to be a fast car, not to look good necessarily. That comes after, but it is a byproduct of these coilovers, which hopefully they make my car handle much better as well, because I do notice that the car does have some roll. Well, it's not nearly as much as my truck. It still has some body roll to it, so I think that these are really going to stiffen everything up. This is just the start of the suspension mods with this thing. Yeah, it's a good place to start though, I think. So I got these on eBay. I'll post a link in the description to these guys, but this is everything that came in the box. It was pretty funny. Actually, Girl Scout cookies were in the box. So we got some trefoils there. Pretty pumped about that, honestly. I think the eBay seller hooked it up with those. I've got our stickers down here. Came with a tape measure so we can measure our ride height, which we're going to do, and it came with the wrenches to adjust them. The smaller one is probably the only one we're going to need, because we're not going to mess with preload. The only downside here is that we did have one top piece, which this is your dampening adjustment. Let me come around this side. This is the dampening adjustment right here, and one of these was not on, but if you look, there's a little hole right here, and I believe there's a set screw in there. I'm assuming it's an Allen head of some type. It's really small, but I don't think that was ever tightened, because I can see it's not really protruding out here. So I don't think it was ever tightened. Another couple of them are loose. This one just actually came off in my hand. So we're going to go ahead and tighten all those. Hopefully that's not a sign that these are poor quality, because they're quite expensive. But definitely not the most expensive coilovers that you can get. This is sort of a budget coilover, in my opinion. But yeah, we are going to get to work. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and measure the ride height, all four corners, throw it up on the whiteboard, and we'll just get a baseline here. The suspension might be a little bit jacked up right now, just because I had the car sitting on jacks for a while. Probably been like a week now, so the car is probably sitting a little bit higher than it normally would after driving around. But you get the idea. It's going to be the same when I throw the other coilovers on it, so it'll settle in. We'll just have to see. But I'm going to go ahead and measure. Alright, so we've got our baseline measurements here. I'm honestly amazed at how even this thing is left to right. Maybe I'm just used to pickup trucks, but it's super hard to get it to sit perfect. Anyway, I got 27 and 7/8 for both front fender heights, and then for both rear fender heights I have 26 and 7/8. So there is a 1-inch difference between the front and rear. So I do hope to fix that once we are actually getting into messing with this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack this thing up, and we will start tearing it apart. Get ready to throw these coilovers on. I'll just give you guys a good look of it before. Hopefully I can use a little shot here of a before and do a little before and after for you. But yeah, I do think that I'm going to max them out, just see how low we can go, and then I'll raise them up to a nice ride height that is going to work for me. So I got the car jacked up on jack stands, all four corners, and I ripped one wheel off, and we are going to get right in here, and we got a few things that we're going to do, starting with these three right here. I bust those three off up top, and I also have to, we're going to loosen this one right here. I might end up taking that out, and we're going to loosen the fork down here on both sides. There's a bolt with a nut on it. Actually no, I think it might be a welded nut. I think you could just do the bolt side, and then that should free up our coilover. And there's also a 12 right here that we got to take this brake line hose off. Yeah, I believe we got to take that off. So we will figure out how we're going to get this done, but I'm going to go ahead and go through those steps. Might be able to give you some more tips after I actually get into it. All right, so that is one of our front coil and strut setups. It's huge compared to this little guy. These are the front ones. Yeah, so my one complaint is that the new coilovers don't have a way of mounting the brake line, so that's kind of a little concerning. I don't really want to hack these up, just because if I modify them, I'm definitely going to void the warranty. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way to attach the brake hose without using this setup right here. So I guess I'll just have to figure that out, because I don't really want to modify these. Yeah, alright, so I got them maxed out as much as I possibly can. You can see there's a bit of a difference between this one and the one next to it. So yeah, I just cranked this one all the way up, and then I used a little wrench to tighten this down on top of that, and that should clamp it pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and try to throw it in, and I'll show you guys the process of removing everything. So these are the fork right here. This big bolt right here is a 17, runs through the bottom, and there is actually a separate nut on this side. This one right here, which is a 14, goes through the back here, and it clamps this down on the actual setup. Let me show you. It goes through the back over here, and then these were the two 10s, or no, these are yeah, these are 12s that were holding the brake hose on. So yeah, now you can see the brake hose is just kind of hanging out in there. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as of yet. Maybe might involve zip ties till I can figure out a better way. It'd be nice to upgrade to stainless brake hoses at some point, like braided ones, but that's later down the road. So yeah, I think that we're gonna go ahead and try to reassemble this. It's a shame to made it to this rusty looking suspension part, but maybe I'll paint it at a later date. But I'm gonna go ahead and put them together, throw it back up in the car. It should be much easier because it's much shorter. All right, everybody, so this just confirms that there's no way I'm gonna be able to rock this thing all the way slammed, because you can see the whole rotor assembly is sitting really high in the wheel well. I don't know if you remember what it looked like before, but it's sitting way higher, just relaxed, not even compressed yet with the suspension. So I got everything cranked down, tightened back up. Best way to do it is to put the coil in up top first, get a bolt started, and then shoot the fork in on the bottom, and then you can push the fork up onto the actual assembly itself, and then tighten the 14 in the back. That's definitely the best way to take it out and put it in, because to put it in one piece, I don't even know if it's possible. So yeah, with this one, it shouldn't be too hard to raise it once we do put it down, because I know that this is gonna be crazy. Let me show you guys what it looks like with the wheel on it here. See if I can put a wheel on for you. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm gonna start these lugs here, and I'm gonna get this thing on. That's pretty insane, to be honest. This is gonna be ridiculously low. Like, yeah, that's gonna be crazy. It's gonna look absolutely awesome though. I can't wait. This car is gonna be so slammed in the ground. But yeah, definitely not gonna leave it like this. This is ridiculous. But I do want to see it all completely laid out like this, so I'm pretty stoked. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the rear. Yeah, look at that sag in the back compared to in the front. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it looks like these things are really gonna lower this car. Definitely gonna have to back it off some, but I do wanna see it like that at least. Hopefully I don't bust my mud flaps. So the rear is much more simple. Back here, all right, so there's a bolt right here, and that goes through the bottom of the actual shock itself. So you want to take that off. That's a 17. Mine was pretty tight. I used this, breaker bar to get it loose, and then you got the rest with a wrench because I couldn't really get my impact gun on it, unfortunately. But our other two bolts, or nuts rather, that we got to get rid of. I already have the trunk kind of half stripped out of my car anyway because I'm relocating the battery, as you might have seen in my previous video. If not, go check that out. It's pretty cool. The engine bay looks much cleaner with the battery back here. I'm just waiting on a couple of fuses, and then I'll be able to finish that up. But back here, you can see there is the top of our strut there. So we just got to pull out those two bolts, or those two nuts rather. I think they're probably a 14 or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and take those guys off, and then our strut and coil assembly should come right out. So I got the old coilover out of there. That thing is giant, and I threw the other one in, so you can see that we are all set and in place right here. Similar concept. The two top bolts, actually I did those afterwards. The best way to do this is to get it put in place, and after you get it thrown in place on the bottom and you stick your bolt through, then use a jack to jack up from the actual drum here, and you can shoot it right into the hole there, because I tried to do it the other way first and it wasn't happening down here. So best way to do it is rim the 17 through, and then after that do the two top 17s. It's nice that this kit comes with or the coilovers come with larger nuts, and I assume larger studs. Probably pretty durable. Yeah, so liking this. Just gonna throw this wheel on right here, and we'll see how low this guy is looking in the back. We'll get the full effect. All right, so this thing is really low. Like, it looks awesome. Oh my God. I really hope that I can keep it like this, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I think I'm probably gonna scrape even coming into my driveway. It's really low. Looks like my mud flap's gonna be almost on the ground there. This is gonna look really sweet. I don't know what the lowest thing on my car is. Probably the exhaust. The exhaust is probably gonna end up hitting in the back. I may have to tuck that up anyway, but we're gonna see how low I can get this thing. That's pretty awesome. Hopefully I don't have to go up too much. I really do like that ride height. I think that's nice to have the wheels tucked like that, just slightly. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bang out the other side, and then we'll let this thing down on the ground. I'm gonna make driving the car and like my input on how it drives a totally separate video. So if you guys wanna stay tuned for that, feel free to subscribe and you'll see that when that comes out. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and jam out the other side really quick, and then we'll get this thing on the ground and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a little tip here, because I messed something up royally. So I'll show you down there. Right around here, there is supposed to be the head of a bolt. a 17 and I snapped it. Unfortunately, it was rusted and it was getting pretty tight on me, and I was using a breaker bar, and instead of putting a little bit of lubricant and working it back and forth, I just figured I'd muscle it out and I snapped it. So that's just what happens when you work on 23-year-old cars. Sometimes you're gonna break stuff. So I'm not gonna hide it. I messed up, broke it. It's probably my bad. I definitely should have tried to lubricated it first and let it sit and try to work it back and forth, and I might not have broke the bolt, but I did break it, so it is what it is. So what I actually did was, I'll show you guys on the other strut. What I ended up doing was cutting this nut off right here that's welded on. So I used an angle grinder and I just cut this thing right off, and so now the pin is sort of it's like broken here and it's cut right here. So there's the pin that goes through the bushing in the actual lower control arm, and the issue is it's frozen in the bushing, and so I can't get this actual strut off, and I also can't get the pin out. So I've been spraying it, I'm letting it soak, and I've been air hammering it from this side and from this side to try to get it out. Yeah, that's kind of a setback. I'm definitely gonna need a new bolt, and this sort of throws a wrench in the whole operation. I wanted to get this done tonight, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finalize it. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot over to the front and try to knock the front out really quick while the back sits and soaks and tries to loosen up. And if I can get that all apart, I'll get it most of the way put back together. And I'm just gonna have to get a bolt. This is one for the front, but I'll just have to get one for the rear, whether I go to the junkyard or find a bolt at the hardware store that's gonna work. I'll figure something out, but yeah, definitely a setback, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you got rusty cars in New England. So for you guys, that was just a millisecond, but for me, it's been 2 days since that last clip, and I did get the chance today to go to the hardware store and pick up a couple of bolts, two of which, or both of them are right here. This one I was trying to thread in. I feel like it's a little bit misaligned. I'm just gonna see if I can gently send it through, because it runs in through this side, but not on this side, so we gotta figure that out. But I know that this is the correct bolt. I got it from Ace Hardware, and I brought a nut with me that fit on, or I was able to thread a bolt into this nut here and find a bolt that fit into there, but it wasn't right for me. And then I found a nut that fit on that, and I brought the nut with me to test out all the bolts, and I was able to find this. It's M10 by 1.25, I believe. Yeah, M10 by 75, I think that's the length, but it's by 1.25. So that's what bolt this is. I got two, just you know, in case. Maybe I'll do the other side while I'm at it, because I'll probably have to change the ride height, so I might as well throw a new bolt in there, just so we don't have that kind of problem again. And yeah, so I think we are gonna be good to go with this guy right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try again to get the bolt, what's left of the bolt, out of the other side. And this guy, I'll show you guys, it'll fit really good. It's honestly perfect. I don't know how I ended up so lucky, but I got the perfect size. I think it's a 3-inch. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pound that other side out with the air hammer, hopefully, and get that other strut right off of there. And then I will go ahead and throw this one on, and we can lower this thing on the ground and see how it looks. All right, so an update here. This is the bushing, and this is the bolt on the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but this thing is so fused to that bushing. I don't think there was any way I was ever gonna get it out of there. You know, I mean, I did snap the bolt, but I just don't think that there was any chance that I was gonna get this thing out. It's so messed up, like, it's really bad. So based on this, I'm still not gonna get this job done yet. I gotta get this bushing. I found the part online, so I'll either get it online or go to the Honda dealer. But yeah, I mean, this thing just flakes apart. This bushing's pretty shot, but I also like broke the bushing getting it out. But yeah, it's all messed up and all corroded, so I guess it's good that I'm gonna have to replace it. But it kind of sucks because I really wanted to get the car done again, but it looks like I'm gonna get pushed back again. So we'll see when I end up getting around to getting it fixed. But yeah, I don't really want to end off the video right here because I haven't even let it on the ground yet, but I don't know. I might end it off here. If I do, then, you know, it is what it is, but you guys can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get this thing on the ground and figure out how it rides and just see it sitting on the ground. I mean, it's driving me crazy. It's killing me, but yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get that part and put the new bushing in, and then I can go ahead and let this thing down and then adjust the suspension to where I need it. And I'm almost done with the battery relocation as well. I'll show you guys what's going on here. If I had some light. But back here, I have all kinds of fuses that I put in. So you can see right there, I have a fuse for the fuse block that is up in the front of the car, is that circular fuse, and then the other fuse closer to the front of the car with the ring terminals on it back there. That one is for the starter, so I just have to tighten all those connections, mount those fuses with some screws into the body, and tighten this down. And then once I actually get the coilovers, or the new coilover in the back there, I can go ahead and put this ground on and mount that to the strut tower over there, which is where I'm going to get my ground from. So that's the plan, and I should be good to go with that pretty soon, as soon as I get that part. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get this done as soon as I can. I really want it done, but you know, if it doesn't happen within the next couple of days, it might not happen. I got some things coming up. I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to do my best to get this thing back on the road. I miss driving it, and I'm hoping it's going to start to warm up soon here. We're getting into March, so it's going to be prime driving season. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Definitely stay tuned. I'm going to finish this suspension up soon. Just got to get the parts coming in.